Hey guys, it's Kawasaki Repair. Today we're going to be talking about flipping bikes. Now, I understand what my title reads, and it is not clickbait. I'm going to get into the title, but right now I'm going to talk about what I do when I get these bikes, what I go over, what you should do when you get these as well, and how you should sell a bike to somebody else who's buying it from you and trusting in you that the bike has been done right. And that's partially what has to do with my title. So stand by here, let's get started. Let me show you what I got. Alright, so I got a 2015 Kawasaki KX85. These are really good bikes. They're great for kids to get started. They're good for making into mini bikes to play around with, to you know, hammer around the yard, do whatever you want with them. This one has full-size bars on it, so it looks like somebody put bigger bars on it. It's got a couple issues, a couple things I see right off the bat that we're going to have to address, and we'll get into that here, and I'll show you what we're talking about. But first off, I'm going to get this thing outside and give it a good scrub down and cleaning before I get into anything. But you can see something missing right inside of here. Looks like that front engine mount is not even there, so we're going to have to get that ordered. But, you know, things like these little spoke covers here, although they, you know, look neat to some people, they cover up the spokes. And any corrosion or anything or water that gets in there is going to damage the spokes. So I'm going to go ahead and pull all those off before I give it a good scrub down and cleaning, and then we'll go over what we're looking at. Alright guys, so we got it back here up on the bench, and a couple things that are straight out obvious here. We're missing missing a clip in there. This pipe is not even mounted. I showed you the front engine mount's missing. The plastic is kind of shot, so there's a lot of things that it needs here. These chain and sprockets are toast. We got a broken stud off here for the broken bolt for the front fork guard. We got the wrong one in here, so we're going to strip this thing all the way down. But a couple things it needs: those plastics are crappy. Some new ones there. Chain and sprockets, those are shot. The rear wheel bearings are toasted in there. Grips look like crap. Get some new ones there. Still got to get levers. I got tires and tubes as well. Let's get this thing stripped down. The hell's that? Alright guys, that's the wrong way to put that on. This should be the other way. The opening should be in the back, not in the front. Okay, this is dangerous. Pay attention to what's going on. A couple other things in here are loose. Filter's dirty. Still going to need more cleaning. Let's keep stripping it down. Not good. Alright, so I got it pretty much stripped down here. That's just sitting on there. I'm going to clean that off. And all these parts, I take them all off because I want to hand scrub everything and make everything as new as I possibly can look. You know, without stripping everything apart and refinishing it, just cleaning it up really good. So with the carburetor is out, and the exhaust is off, we can now look inside the cylinder and take a good look at the piston and make sure we don't have any severe damage or anything bad in there. Let's see. And it looks good. The piston looks good. Let me move it a little bit so we can get... Looking at the rings there, I don't see any blow-by. Looks pretty good. Minimal, regular, you know, marks from regular wear. Looks pretty good. I can see the back wall in there. You might not be able to see that, but looks good. Yeah, okay. Yeah, piston looks good. So with no blow-by or anything past the rings, I'm guessing we're going to have a good compression test here. So let me get it set up so we can do that next. We're looking at a 145. All right, guys, so 145 is really good. That's what we're looking for in an 85. And the reason I named the video Don't Flip Dirt Bikes is because if you're not willing to put the effort in to turn over a safe bike to somebody that has a good engine in it, don't do it. All right, because you don't want to be the guy that sells somebody some piece of crap bike that's about to blow up. First time he takes it out, it throws a freaking piston or seizes up or something. Make sure that you do this. Make sure that the brakes are good. Make sure the engine is tight. Make sure it's got good spark. It runs good. Carbs clean. Runs. You know, make sure you do all that before you sell a bike. Put the effort in so that people will recommend you for other people to come and buy bikes from you, and you're not selling garbage. There's a couple of videos on YouTube that I see guys freaking welding frames back together on street bikes that have been wrecked and selling them. Man, don't push that crap off on us. All right, when you got somebody buying a bike, you know, they're kind of almost putting their trust into you, hoping that you did the right thing. So be the guy that does the right thing. Don't go selling these pieces of garbage that you know you're just trying to push off to make a quick buck. I don't make a lot of money on these bikes. I do this because I like doing it. And when I build them and sell them, I make a little bit here, a little bit there. Sometimes some bikes cost a lot more, and you lose some money. You break even, but you just never know what you're going to get. When I check an engine like this, and it's got good compression and it looks good, the piston looks good, I feel lucky. I don't have to do anything else. Sometimes you got to rebuild an engine, and it, you know, runs you a little bit more. You got to buy these bikes real cheap so you don't run into those problems, okay? But yeah, don't be the guy. Don't flip bikes unless you're going to do it right. Let's keep going on this one. Alright guys, so in order for me to keep this G-rated, I'm not going to record me putting tires on. But let's say the front's on, and now I got to go do the rear. God, I hate doing tires. Alright, let's get this airbox cleaned up. It's nasty, you got to keep it cleaner than this. And for things like this swing arm right here, to make it look new again, I'm using a gray scuff pad. This is made by 3M, it's a Scotch-Brite pad. You can use a red one if you want more of a scratched kind of look, but I think this gives it more of a factory look. I just spray some lubricant on it. You know, WD-40. I'm using the cheap Walmart stuff. And I got some glue on here. I got to get off from it's like an old sticker or something. But I'll do that in a second after I show you this. That's all it takes. And it looks good again. Looks new. I got to take care of this glue right here, so I'll do that now. But that's all I do for all the aluminum. Alright guys, so here's one of the problems that I see a lot, and that's these adjusters getting real tight in here. So what these geniuses did is put a standard kind of bolt in here. Okay, this is not an adjuster bolt. This is something they just jammed in there. And they jammed it into this part here, and taking it out, it broke. So here we go. I'm going to try to easy out it. If I can't easy out it, I'm going to have to get another swing arm. These are the things that you got to be prepared for when you buy these bikes. Alright guys, so it didn't work. The easy out didn't get it out. It is locked in there. I'm going to drill this out. This is supposed to be an M8 by 1.25 threads. So I'm just going to drill it and retap it, and hopefully we have success that way. Alright, I think I'm getting it. So what I did was I just stepped up the drill bit sizes all the way up to a 17/64. So now I'm running the M8 by 1.25 thread in there. And I'm just making sure I'm keeping it centered and just slowly just working it in in a little bit, out a little bit, you know, like you'd normally do a thread. Just be gentle when you're doing these. Bring them in a little bit, bring it out a little bit, in a little bit out, until it cleans the threads up. Keep lubrication on it, and hopefully we'll get it. All right, guys, so as I'm doing this, I'm confident because it's tight in there, and it's not loose or anything. It's not flapping around. But my word of caution here is to don't use a cheap tap. Make sure you use a good quality tap, because if you use a cheap one, it'll break off in there. And if it breaks off when you're in the middle of tapping a hole, you are screwed, literally, because you won't be able to get it out. These are hardened, but you want to get a good brand. Go to a good industrial shop and get a couple of the common size. You don't need the whole kit. You know, get a good mix of all your common size threads. This is an M8 by 1.25. This is very commonly used. So I made sure that I had this one in a heavy duty one. And just because the way this is set up, I can't use the normal tool that goes with it, so I'm using a 7mm that fits on it close enough where it's not going to slip off or anything. You see I'm going in and out, in and out, in and out. Just keep on moving it. Be patient with it. And we'll get it. We're good. I think we are golden here. Alright guys, we are good. This is going to be a success. I got it screwed all the way in here, so it's full length right now. So I'm going to go ahead and back this out. And we'll send the original one back in there from the other side, and we should be golden. Man, I think we lucked out on that. Chase those threads back through. Whew. Alright, and then the bolts you're going to put back in, if you're using a used one, make sure you run it through and clean all the threads as well. So I just got this set up like this. Oh yeah, we're good. Alright, when you get it all figured out, make sure you use some anti-seize. This is what I use right here. And I put that on the threads and make sure that they don't lock up again in there. Good old goober right on there. And this was a little battle, guys. I got to clean up this mess. And this is the all balls kit that I'm using for this right here, 413603. Alright, and it comes with all these 3 bearings are the same, and it comes with 2 seals. Alright, so putting the back axle in here, we're going to clean up this axle here. See, it's all rusted, and both of the 2 spacers on the outside, they're rusted as well. Now, one of the things that you have to remember is you need to grease this, and one of the myths or things that people believe is that the wheel spins on the axle, and it doesn't spin on the axle, it spins on the bearings. The only reason that you're greasing this is to make sure that it doesn't corrode and rust like this and get stuck in the wheel so you can't get it out. So I'm going to wire wheel this all up, put a tight coat of waterproof grease on here, so that we can slide that back in and it doesn't get stuck in position there and you can't get it out. But the wheel doesn't spin on the axle. The axle holds the wheel in place and the wheel spins on the bearings. Let me get that done. Alright, throwing the wheel back on. Got the spacers all cleaned up. Got the axle ready to go and grease. Just a thin coat of grease on there. I'm not going to tighten this down all the way because we still have to adjust the chain. But back wheel's on. Got the new brake pads in. The new sprocket. Got all the new bearings in the wheel, new tire, tube. It's ready to go. Let's move on. All right, let's get this front sprocket on. Take the cover off. Looking good. All right, front sprocket, pretty simple. Take the clip off. Make sure it's clipped in all the way. Good to go. All right, it's coming along. I got the pegs painted. They're drying up. They should be dry now. I'm going to go ahead and throw the plastics kit on, put the tank back on it. It's coming along good. And for this kit here, I usually go with the Polysport. I want to try UFO and see how it is. Alright guys, so I got to change the power valve cover, which is in here. And you can see those two screws are right up against the frame right there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and take off the pipe. I've already taken off the silencer, the side cover, take the seat off, take the tank off, take the front engine mount off here, the lower one right there. And then hopefully with the carburetor out, I should be able to tilt the engine back enough to do that without having to pull the swing arm pivot bolt out. But let's give it a shot. Alright, so I got all the bolts out here. The front mount, the lower one here, the one on the bottom. I loosened up the swing arm pivot, got the carburetor out, all the plastic off the tank. You know, a lot of it's apart. And then I just pried it up here. And you can see how far I got it pried up, and now I can get in there. Now you're not going to be able to get in with a regular screwdriver, so I'm using this little small, like 90 degrees, so I can get in and get these out, then these out, and pull this cap off, clean it up. Phillips heads are supposed to go in there, so hopefully they didn't jam and ruin it with this one, so we'll figure that out. But let me pull out. And this is why we took it off, is because that's the spring mount right there that is broken off for the exhaust. So here's all my new stuff and my new screws. Put it all back together. All right, all mounted up, looking good. Let's get this bike back together again. Alright guys, so it is done. It looks awesome. It runs really good, nice and crisp. It's ready to go. Everything is fresh on this bike now. Remember we did the chain and sprockets, the chain guard, the new engine mount up front. We did the took the airbox off, cleaned all that inside, reshot the frame on the side here on both sides, put new brake pads in front and rear, new tires, all new plastics, repacked the silencer, new grips and levers. This bike is ready. I'm looking forward to the next kid getting this and having some fun with it. This is where a lot of dreams come true for kids that are this age, get a bike like this and ride it around. So I'm going to offer it up for sale for a great price so that somebody can get a really good deal on it and they can go have some fun. Guys, I hope you liked this video and you enjoyed me rebuilding this bike. Please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for further notifications. Until next time, this is TEPCO Cycle Repair.